What's up, Zox fam? We're back with some more Etheria Restart. Now, we're going to be getting into a character overview of the Vengeful Thorn Withered Shadow Sania. This is definitely an extremely potent character, and when we're actually taking a look at what she does, she is going to be a debuff damage dealer. Now, getting into her skills and what she's bringing to the table, looking at the skill 1 Vine Burst, Sania throws bramble vines at a single enemy, dealing 230% damage with a 50% chance to inflict 1 stack of dot for 2 turns. And then with her unique ability, Wither, Sania inflicts 1 stack of dot for 2 turns on the target when dealing damage. So essentially, what dot is going to be doing is when the turn starts, it takes indirect real damage equal to 4% of max HP, or at least the opponent does. So basically, when you're looking at her potency in terms of dot manipulation, she's able to stack a ton just simply from her skill 1. Now, when we go into the skill 2, you have the Illusion Thornscape. So Sania sends ventral seeds to all targets and makes them explode, dealing 200% damage to all enemies and extending their dot by 1 turn. Now, what's really important to note about this specific ability is that it extends dots. So pairing her up with other dots or making it to where she can rotate to land enough dots is going to be essential before you use this ability so that you can get the most out of the extension and the damage that comes with it. And lastly, with the skill 3, you're going to have the Bramble Burial, where Sania summons Negativium, activating dark curses on all enemies, and she deals 240% damage and settles all of their dots immediately. So basically what the skill 3 is doing is it's dot detonating. So as many dots as you can possibly get on the opponent, you want to save this ability for last so that you can basically detonate them all at once. Now, as far as module recommendations, I would definitely say working your way in the early game, you definitely want to start out with ones like Swift Rush, which is going to be on the 12 matrix bonus, giving you a speed value of 35%. Then you also have ones like, for example, the Unbreakable set, which is going to be giving you a defense value of 45% on a 12 matrix bonus. And then, of course, you have ones like Wellspring that could be used, which is going to be giving you an HP increase of 45% on a 12 matrix bonus. And then as you start to get other things developed and getting more access to more matrices and modules, definitely the Bramble set is a pretty big one, where a Animus is going to be receiving 10% more defense, and then the Animus has a 25% chance to counterattack with a basic attack when hit. Then you also have ones like Time Weave, so effect accuracy is increased by 18%, and at the start of the turn, there's a 35% chance to reduce the cooldown of all Animus skills by 1 turn. And then in Cataclysm, at the end game, you have Swift Smite, which is going to be giving you a speed increase of 15% and effect accuracy increase of 20%. And then when we're looking at main stats and even substats that you want to focus, I would highly recommend HP, and effect accuracy. And this can vary based off of your needs. So if you want to go for a little bit more resistance, then definitely throw in some effect res, so HP, effect res, and effect accuracy. And or if you're looking at your substats, I would definitely say speed is going to be very important because this needs to be tuned properly so that you can get the most out of the dot detonation that Sania has. And you also are going to want stats to keep her alive, so HP, defense, and of course, effect accuracy. And if you have any extra room, then of course you can throw in some effect res so that you can keep debuffs off of her. Now, getting into our skill prioritization, the first one that would be of the highest priority will actually be the skill 1. The skill 1 is going to be giving you on the first node an increased damage multiplier to 210%. And then it also will be increasing the chance of inflicting a dot through the passive to 100%. Then you also increase the damage multiplier to 230% on the third node. And on the final one, it will increase the duration of dot inflicted by the passive to 2 turns. Now, with that, you also then are going to have the skill 3 being next up, where it's going to be increasing the damage multiplier to 220%. Then you also have a reduction of the skill cooldown by 1 turn. Then it increases the damage multiplier to 240%. And then lastly, on the fourth node, it reduces the skill cooldown further by an additional turn. And then lastly, you have the skill 2, where the skill 2 on the first node is going to increase the damage multiplier to 180%. The second node is going to further increase the damage multiplier to 190%. The third node will then take it to 200%. And then the final node will reduce the skill cooldown by 1 turn. Now, as far as shell recommendations, I would definitely say starting out, you would have ones like the Unbridled Science, Star, Mermaid Princess, Shan Haijing, Blizzard, Alicorn, Gigabyte, Codex of Magic. Now, getting into our infamous pros and cons with Sania, I would definitely say that one of her biggest pros is the fact that she can land so many dots. This is all HP percent damage, and this is going to be quite effective against bosses that it does work against, and also enemies that this works against. She's going to be able to wear down her opponents fairly easily. And if you pair her up with other dot damage dealers, this is also going to allow her to expedite the detonation that she has in her kit, which is going to further be imploding and getting rid of those dots so that new ones can be placed. Because yes, there are a capacity to how many debuffs a enemy can have at once. So with that being the case, that then leads us into our cons. And I think the con is pretty straightforward. Simply put, if she can't dot, then she just doesn't work. She doesn't actually offer any other utility in her kit. So even with the extension of debuffs, it's specific to extension of dots. So that's the one thing that really does hurt her tremendously and really makes her very specific, but extremely good at what she does. So it's either dot or it's nothing. So with all that being said, I hope that this video was able to help you with giving you some insight on the Vengeful Thorn Withered Shadow Sania. Again, guys, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more exciting Etheria Restart content. So that's basically going to be that with this one, guys. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.